Namaste. Namaste. You. Thank you for connecting with me. Thank you, truly, for existing. I am very grateful. Another of me. Greetings from Fuerteventura. This is an island near Africa and the Atlantic Ocean. It's been amazing. I came here to be with myself, truly close to myself, and to focus on meditating and spirituality and astral travels have been pretty intense lately as well. And this video is for me to spread this vibe to you and share thoughts, share my experiences, what has been coming up lately. So just like an update, how's my human girl's existence? Well, pretty blissful. I feel like I'm learning through contrast a lot. Like, how can I actually maintain this high vibration? What does it take? How do I stay in this pranic state and high state of consciousness? Because again and again I'm being reminded that high state of consciousness, that's all that it takes to be blissful, content and satisfied. But yeah, maybe I could start with the astral travels, because there has been many nights recently where I'm just traveling for years of time or months of time. Last night it felt like months of time. I woke up at 3 and then I was awake for a bit and then I went back to sleep, which is, by the way, a great hack for astral projection. It works every time, pretty much every time. Like, just stay as conscious as possible. And I entered the astral plane fully conscious. And it was bright, like summer, like daylight, and I am in different places. Like, again, like I said, it was like for years, maybe months, maybe like, I don't know, like I just lived there. I had a life there, I lived there. I was in this astral city where I just feel like it's getting clearer and clearer and clearer. The astral plane, or that astral plane, there are many planes, I've been in different planes, but this astral plane that I visited last night was a lot like this human world. It was like exactly as this human world. I was in this astral city, there are like people, a lot of people. It looks the same, it feels the same. Like, I'm just touching my hands and I'm like, yeah, this is my astral body, I look the same. It's so natural to be in this dimension. And I was just like observing people a lot, and just, it's getting so clear that people are just living their lives there, and many of them are fully unconscious of the existence of this physical plane. It feels like a crazy thought, like a crazy thing there. When I went around talking to people, and I had some like friends there that I don't know here, but that are actually existing in the astral plane and that I know there. And I was talking to them about this physical dream, about this physical world, and how like we have this biological vessel and like how we actually have like blood and organs, and all of this feels so absurd there. It feels so crazy. It's like, what the fuck, really? Because it's, you don't perceive that there. That plane is like a whole another, yeah, frame of perception. You are not perceiving this plane there. Like there are those astral planes that are like closer to the physical in a way that you're able to see your physical body and you're able to see like stuff like that. But that plane was like a whole other world. And there, yeah, you experience humanity like you experience it here, but without the physical restrictions, because you're not in a fleshy vessel. You are able to fly, you are able to do a lot of things, but you're still, like most people, like I said, are unconscious. Just like on this plane, most people are unconscious of the existence of other planes. Well, on that plane as well, many people are unconscious. They're like just living their lives. They have emotions, problems, insecurities, relationships, food, parties, all of that human stuff there. Like I said, it was a city. It was a city, astral city, and there are like houses everywhere. People have houses, people have lives in that dimension, but it's just a dimension with different rules because you're not restricted by the physicality, and the time goes so differently there. It's like, yeah, like I said, I felt like I was there for months, but in this physical plane, it was just a couple of hours. And it's so expanding to be conscious. I mean, that's just another dimension. I feel like I was fully conscious of the physical and that dimension while I was there. And I was there educating people about the existence of this physical dimension because they were like unconscious of it. And just like here, I am telling you about the existence of that dimension, which, I mean, you can visit yourself. It's not about what I tell you, it's about like a plane you can visit yourself. And you have your astral body, and it's just you probably don't remember that because, again, like I said, I lived there for months. I don't remember nearly everything. I just remember bits and pieces, and that's pretty much always how it goes because I feel like I'm away for so long. I feel like these memories are in me, or they are in my astral memory, but they are not necessarily in my access. And it's actually, in a way, it's a good thing because then you don't get too caught up in that stuff of that other dimension, because here you are playing this game. And it's crazy, like every morning I wake up here to play this game. And it's so cool. Remember how special this physical experience is. Remember how unique this is. You only live every second once, although they are like all happening simultaneously. That's something that has been opening up a lot recently. Like just seeing how every moment is happening now. Like now that it's like the switch of the decade, I've been thinking like, yeah, but 2010 is happening now. 2000 is happening now. The 90s are happening now. All decades are happening now. We're just experiencing this part of it because it's like a linear experience for us, but they are all still there. And that's also was freedom for you, in case you ever suffer from like having hard time of letting go of the past. Remember that it's happening right now. It's always gonna be there. What has happened is always gonna be there. In the Akash. It's there. it's happening now. And when you realize that, you can actually focus on this now and focus on living this moment here now, because this is where your life happens. Your life only ever happens in the now. And presence is peace. Presence is bliss. That's something I have come to realize again and again and again. In case I ever feel, let's say, frustrated or sad or something, I come to this presence and it's healed. I come to my heart and it's healed. Then I feel connected again, because all problems pretty much arise from here. You're too much in your thoughts, you're too distracted. And that's the thing. I mean, although as much as, let's say, my mind or my human or my ego likes distractions, I mean, like just being mental, like reading stuff or watching videos or something like that, it's not exactly presence. You're traveling kind of like in your mind, you're receiving some concepts, you're receiving some thoughts, and it's cool. But presence is here. Stay there or come there, return here. Any moment you feel like you're not exactly satisfied with your life or you're not exactly feeling fulfillment, return here. You know it. Here you meet you. Here you meet yourself. And remember that you are always with yourself, because when you remember that, there is no worries. There is no fear. It's all okay. I've also been doing some shadow work here. It's been a part of this trip. And just realizing how different vibrational states bring up different thoughts, different experiences of reality. And it's crazy, like, how your reality can shift like this. It's really interesting. Because, I mean, then I'm being reminded, okay, this is where other people or many people live. But then I always return to this expanded state, and then I feel this bliss and clarity again, and I want to cry. Because it's clarity explosion, and peace and freedom. But yeah, it's like we have these different aspects of ourselves. We have the lower self and the higher self, and then this divinity, oneness part of us. And it's always about the perspective. You wanna love your human. That's how I feel. If I go to my lower self, I feel like a child. I feel like I am my child. I'm like this young version of me. Then I go to my higher self. I feel like I'm old. I feel like I'm wise. I'm observing this, and I feel like it's also clear, like I'm so beyond this. I'm so unaffected by this. And then when I go to this oneness, it's just beyond everything. There are no words, there are no thoughts. You just are, you exist. That is pure bliss. Anytime you feel like it, charge yourself in oneness. Return home, because home is God, and God is in you. I'm reminding you that you can always connect. You can always connect. Return to the stillness. Return to the silence. Silence of the mind. Silence of the mind is where you find God. Where you find your true nature. But yeah, like I've been talking about dimensions a lot lately. That's something that has been coming up a lot. Like how they're just so different frames of perception, and truly, like when I'm in the astrals for a long time, I feel so distant from the physical. It feels like the physical doesn't exist. I mean, when I wake up here, it's a bit of a shock. What the fuck? This is actually like a dimension. This actually was real, because it feels like this was some distant dream. Like here you may feel like that the astral travels you have had are some distant dreams. Well, it feels like that about this dream there. It was so human-like. It felt like a human world in a different dimension. You can experience humanity there. You can experience all like earthly pleasures there, but without the physical body. And I mean, I'm literally there. I'm looking at my hands and I'm like, I mean, I can't tell a difference. This is my physical body. Many times I'm pretty sure that I am in my physical body. But then again, like I met my grandfather and I think that reminded me, okay, but he's dead, so I have to be in the astrals. But he was there and we were like hugging and I felt so much love. But I felt so much clarity during all of this. Like the other night, before last night, I feel like I was being taught about what density feels like by my guides. Like what different densities actually mean. And I was like entering different spaces, like different energy fields or different dimensions or something. I have this vague memory. It's not too bright right now, but I remember like feeling, okay, this is what it feels like here and this is what it feels like here, and like actually entering different densities. It was super interesting. And the day before that, I was fully practicing channeling, and it's this state where everything is just flowing through you. You are not exactly blocking it with your mind, or you're not exactly like thinking too much. But what you channel is determined by your vibrational state. And when you tune yourself super high, you can connect to other higher beings and bring forth information. You can be the channel for them. And I actually connected with the 9. I didn't expect anything, but that's a team that came through. And they're like my team, like I'm part of them. I am them in a way. And they were like referring to me how this is the team and you are here. But you can, instead of accessing only this, you can access all that's here. So that felt natural. Then I also connected with a guide that told me about like this starseed stuff. I remember seeing her in my dream 3 years ago or 2.5 years ago, and that was a very meaningful dream to me. I was like crying and crying in that dream actually. And she's just me in another place. I'm just kind of calling them. Like every time I'm channeling, I'm just calling. I'm tuning myself to another of me, some other aspects of me. And I'm always connected. Like the 9 was reminding me that I am always connected to them. There is no possible way for me to ever not be connected to them. It's an illusion. I'm always connected to them. But I mean, it's about how much I'm allowing like that information to come through. How, like, what is my state of consciousness? Because that's what it is. If my state of consciousness is just this, then I won't experience or receive information from them. But when I remove our blockages, I'm allowing, I'm surrendering, I'm letting it flow, I can access everything that's here in this whole. And sure, we are all connected. It's the law of the universe. And when you are in that high state of oneness, like selflessness in a way, you can tune yourself into anyone, anywhere. Like when I've been super high, it's so tripping because I've said that I feel like I'm every person that I meet everywhere. And then it feels like, oh, I'm seeing through their eyes, I'm feeling what they're feeling, I'm like actually receiving information, like I'm reading their energy. But then again, like because I'm not Tiina in that state, then I feel like I'm them, and I'm like, oh, I see myself in you. And that's so tripping, because I feel many times I look at myself, like a picture of myself or something of Tiina, and it's like I read her energy, I read her storyline of this lifetime, and I see her, but there is like zero identification as her, because I feel like I'm everyone. But that's a state of consciousness, and it's also what has been coming up during this trip is that it's okay to experience different states of consciousness, and it's definitely okay to experience humanity on this plane, because you are in a human body and you are human. And don't neglect that part of you, but love that part of you. Like I said, I feel like that's my child. My human girl is my child. That's the name of this channel, because it's like my human girl. It's like from this higher perspective, I'm looking down at her, and this is my one individuation on this plane of existence in this universe. This is just one of me. Like you are one of me. Oh, and it's so perfect. All experiences here in this duality-based realm, they're okay. Different shades, different states of being. We're just experiencing different states of being. It's fine. Oh, tell me, did you feel this? Do you feel this energy? Tune yourself here and feel this expansion and feel this pure bliss, this freedom. I love you. I love you. Merry Christmas. A bit late now, but still, Merry Christmas, and happy, blissful 2020. That's something I've been receiving a lot of information about. Like the next decade, I was channeling about it yesterday, and I might share that on another video. But thank you, my love. Thank you again for breathing. Breathing keeps you alive on this plane. Thank you for living this life. Amen. Namaste.